looks like we're live. Cheers. Cheers with my water. Yeah, happy Sunday. I hope you're having a good weekend. And yeah, it's been a long while since I've gone live. And yeah, so we'll see how this goes. I do have a cheat sheet here just because it's been a long while since I've actually done a live. I have done a couple of pre-recorded stuff, but live streaming I haven't done since January. So, but yeah, like tell me, how have you been? Have you been doing? How's your Sunday going? So I can actually, I can be on tonight. It's 7 Eastern Standard Time right now. I can be on until 8 o'clock. Just because I do still have things that I need to do. I do still have some stuff that, you know, I need to finish cleaning up here. I need to like just finish getting my stuff ready for the week ahead, planning out my August. So I have a bunch of things I need to do. Plus, the new House of the Dragon is coming up very soon this evening too. So yeah, go Team Black, because I'm Team Black. But but if you're Team Green, hey, I still love you, no hate. So but yeah, and I actually just got done filming 2 videos. One is what's in my touch-up bag, the bag that I typically take with me to gigs, to any use on any photo shoots. It's kind of like a little extension of the makeup kit that I did. Hey, welcome. It's also just kind of an extension of that. So I did that, and then I also did a book review for actually my vlogging channel. Now I do have a second YouTube channel aside from my music one. I kind of restarted it, and it's it's called like Tiffany After Hours. Hey John, what's up? Good to have you. But it's basically it's a second YouTube channel aside from my music channel. And what it is really, it's a vlogging channel, and it's also me doing like reviews of like films and books and things that maybe a little off-brand for my Gothic Celt thing that I have going on. So it's basically some of my other interests that I have. So that's called Tiffany After Hours. So yeah, but I did something for that, and now I'm doing this live stream here. So yeah, and I'm wearing I'll be wearing the same shirt in 3 videos, so it is what it is. But yeah, let me know how you've been. And yeah, so like I said, this is my first live stream that I've done since January. It's like I've gone for almost a year without doing a live stream, and you know, basically it's because I ended up kind of just shattering my ankle pretty bad back in January, and yeah, it was, you know, it was definitely an experience. And yeah, it did take, you know, a good amount of healing. And hey, welcome. It took a good amount of healing, and I kind of had to give myself a little bit of time to you know, just to get myself to where I, you know, like I said, like, because I did have to have like surgery on it. So like to kind of fuse everything back together, which I know sounds lovely, but I did have to take like maybe like a week, or, you know, week or 2, week and a half to just be in slug mode and just allow myself just that time to recover. So yeah, like you know, so it was very much a recovery process, but then I also did, you know, hey, welcome. But then as I slowly started to regain my energy, I started, I tried to keep up with my email list. I tried to, you know, really, you know, just keep regularly posting. And I also, during the time that I was healing from that ankle injury, I also, I started to really delve into my creativity, because my creativity was definitely what was keeping me sane. So, but I guess you can say the good that came out of it was the fact that I was able to really tackle those projects, those creative projects that I had been meaning to tackle for quite some time. But I was either, just because my schedule was so crazy, I was either, just kind of tackling it in spurts, or it was just on the back burner. And, through my ankle injury, I was like, well, yes, I'm going to give myself time, a little bit of time to recover, to just, kind of be in slug mode. But eventually, yeah, I do want to use this time to my advantage and really, really tackle those projects that I've been meaning to, now that I have the time. So I've been making more headway on the new album. I'm really happy about that. It's Wars of the Roses. That's the working title. And so I'm really, really excited about that. I'm excited about how the songs are coming along. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to starting to start to release those songs, and maybe perform some of them, and then finally release the entire album. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. And like I said, if you see me looking down, it's because I have my cheat sheet here, because it's been a while since I've live streamed. So I did make myself a little cheat sheet of what I wanted to talk about. And like I said, I could be on for an hour, just because I do need to finish getting stuff ready for the week ahead. But yeah, I decided to take a negative experience and just turn it into a positive, or at least as positive as possible, and not let this year be just a total waste, because I did have big plans for this year, and of course they got derailed, and of course, I had to readjust. And like I said, I wasn't going to allow that to really get me down. I wasn't going to, like I said, let that turn this year into a complete waste. So in a way, I actually ended up just really, getting a lot done, as far as just stuff that was kind of on the back burner. But I have a new album that I'm working on, and also I've been meaning to just completely redo my Bonfires and Castles blog and podcast, that I'm currently working on right now, and just completely redoing the blog, as well as the podcast. I found a home for the podcast, which is good. I'm uploading some of the older episodes into that platform, and eventually, just kind of like get it on Spotify and all that stuff. And I've been working on the blog too, because the original blog was on Blogger or Blogspot, but I don't know, I just decided I just wanted something a little bit more professional looking, just something that was a little bit more adjustable, like I could really make the background what I wanted it to be, and so I've been working on that too, and also just have it look good, because I just gave my entire website a new overhaul, and so now I'm doing that to the Bonfires and Castles blog, and the podcast as well. So I've been working on that, and that's just so that's been a lot of hey, thanks for coming, thanks for joining me. Like I said, first live stream in since January, but I've been working on my podcast, my blog, I just gave my website a new overhaul and my album, and I'm also working on the new Celtic Spirit website. Now, the Celtic Spirit website, it's that's the project of my friend Laura. David, hey, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for joining me on my first live stream since January. So, but yeah, but I've been, you know, just like I said, my website, my blog, podcast, I've just been giving it a complete overhaul. The new album I've been working on, and I'm also working on the new Celtic Spirit website. Now, Celtic Spirit, that is a project that my friend and wayward companion, hey, wayward companion bandmate Laura Mason Lockard is also is working on that with me too, where it's like a harp and voice duet. She plays the harp, I sing. However, I am also following another goal of mine to learn how to play the harp myself. So, and I'm also learning how to play the lyre as well. And I recently just started practicing the lyre. I'm doing some shopping for harps because I do want to get the right one. I'm thinking of getting like one of those smaller lap harps to start, and then get like a really nice big harp. But yeah, but that's another thing that I'm working on. I'm working on our Celtic Spirit website. We did a really cool photo and video shoot, and yeah, and we're coming along. We just got a new gig, like a private Christmas party, which is a little ways off, but hey, that gives us time to rehearse. So yeah, so that's also coming along. I have a couple gigs coming up with Wayward Companions. So yeah, getting back to life after the ankle injury. It's you know, it's been a bit of a challenge, but especially getting back to the gym. I'm happy that I could get back to the gym, but I'm not doing my 5 days a week just yet. Because I was, prior to my injury, doing 5 days a week. Now I'm just doing 2 days a week. I'm trying to work up to doing 3. Hey, thank you for joining me. And thank you for the hearts too. I love them. Love you back. But you know, but it's been, like I said, it's been a real journey, and I, you know, instead of doing my usual 5 days a week at the gym, and eventually I want to work back up to that, I'm only doing 2 days a week, and just kind of doing what kind of like what feels right, especially as my ankles increases in strength. Hey, thanks for joining. I love it. I love it. I have a lot of people joining for this live stream. Thank you so much. Love you guys. But yeah, and even like, and I had to really like, you know, kind of readjust like my eating habits too, just so I wouldn't totally fall off track while I was recovering from the ankle injury and everything. But yeah, it's been a journey, but I didn't want this year to be a total waste. So I was, you know, just being, you know, just really tackling those creative projects that I've been meaning to get to, whether it was like the songs or the stories or, you know, my podcast and blog or like all of them. I was just very determined to, you know, make sure that this year would not be, like I said, this year would not be completely flushed down the toilet. So, but because it really is. I mean, life is what you make of it. And, you know, you can turn a bad situation sometimes even into, you know, something that's more positive, and, you know, maybe even open up some new doors for yourself. And I know everybody's situation is different. You know, for some people it might be, you know, more of a struggle than others, but, you know, for my situation, I'm happy that I was able to, you know, still continue on like with my creative projects, and, you know, and even embark on a couple of new ones too, and like really, like I said, just turn what could have been a completely negative situation into something more positive. So yeah, and let me know how you've been this year. How's this year going for you? So I've actually, because, like I said, I can't be on here for too long because I do have some things I need to get done for the week. Just need to finish, and I am starting to plan my month of August. And also the new House of the Dragon is on tonight too. So yeah, if you're watching that, I'd love to know what you think about it. Because I've noticed in the Game of Thrones House of the Dragon fandom, everybody seems to be kind of divided. There's people that are absolutely loving this new season. I like this new season. There's a couple things that I'm kind of like meh about, but overall I like this second season. I kind of agree with everybody's thoughts on Daemon's story at Harrenhal, like with it being dragged out. But at the same time, as a writer myself, especially because I do write fantasy fiction, dark fantasy, stuff like that, I understand why the writers of the show might be doing it, because this season 2 seems to definitely be a character development season, where they're just getting more into developing the characters and really just allowing you to kind of see their psychology, allowing you to really see what's going on with them internally. And you know what? Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need a break from like the action. And I know, and just in reading, because I am involved, I am in some Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, Facebook groups, and I follow some pages. And like I said, the fandom just seems to be very, very divided. I'm in the camp. So you're dealing with a herniated lower back that I aggravated 2 days. Oh man, lots of discomfort. Oh my gosh, David, I'm so sorry. Like that just sounds, oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, like I said, mine wasn't a herniated lower back, but my ankle injury, I definitely, I feel you there as far as like, dealing with like, something that could be, limiting as far as, what your as far as what your normal activities would be and everything. So definitely, praying that's better for you and sending you just healing energy and vibes, and and hopefully that that really that's relieved for you. So but I'm glad you're here though. I'm and I hope that other than that you're enjoying your year. But with character and world building, especially with House of the Dragons, like I said, I kind of understand why they seem to be dragging out Daemon's story in Harrenhal and his hallucinations. In some ways, I kind of would like for them to move on with his character, but on the other hand, like I said, as a writer myself, usually when you write a story or something the way it's written, there's a reason. And in the end, like, you may not see the reason for why something is written the way it is right now. Later on, it does. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, you're very welcome. And I really hope that that's relieved for you, definitely. But it's, and see, the thing is, it's like, as a writer, I can kind of feel their pain, because it's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't. No matter what you do, like, there's always going to be somebody out there that complains. And the thing is, it's like, I think it's important, as important as exciting as, battles and action and all that stuff is. I also think that character arcs and character building and understanding the character's psychology and everything is also very important because, you know, here's the thing. While we all love to see a good dragon battle, you know, we all love to see, just a good battle in general, or, you know, all the fighting scenes and, you know, just the really exciting action-packed stuff. If it were all that, whether it would be Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, or any other series where stuff like that is involved, if that were all that there was, well, then you would have people complaining about how, oh, you know, I didn't really know the characters. Oh, the characters were so one-dimensional. Oh, you know, I didn't care about the characters. But then it's like, when the writer does present, okay, this is who the characters are, this is the world building, this is the world that they grew up in, then you'll have people on the other side being like, oh my gosh, this is so slow, you know, oh my gosh, this is, you know, where's the action? So it's almost like, see, you need a little bit of both. And this season, the second season of House of the Dragon, for me, is definitely you're really getting into these characters, you know, getting into their heads and just kind of seeing what makes them tick. And I think this is especially so with Daemon's story. So yeah, but if you're watching House of the Dragons, like, what do you think? I mean, do you think it's, you know, moving too slowly, or, you know, do you think it's just right? You know, it's like now, I mean, yeah, you do need time to pause and really get to know these characters and, you know, what makes them tick. So, but yeah, but one thing that I really, really enjoy about like the Game of Thrones verse is being the history buff that I am. It's great. Aw, well, thank you. Let's see. Oh, somebody else. Yeah, what did David say here? Then the film would become very boring if just all action. Yeah, I agree. You know, and I understand like there's people out there that, you know, do enjoy like all the action and everything. And yes, you do have to have some action, but in my opinion, yes, you do need those character journeys as well. And, you know, and like I said, either way, you're going to have people that complain, you know, and I don't know, I say if you could do it better, you know, then, hey, you know, submit your work to the producers and see what happens, you know, or you know what, write your own story of how you would like to see it done and you know, and put it out there. I mean, nowadays it's easier now more than ever to do that. So instead of sitting around complaining, you know, how about maybe create something yourself? You know, that's also a thought too. And what did say here? It's great hearing you again. Miss seeing these streams. Oh, well, thank you. I'm enjoying. Yeah. I'm sorry, these go by really fast. I'm enjoying the second season so far of House of the Dragon. Yeah, me too. I heard through the grapevine that there might be a third series that will feature standalone stories. Yeah, I know they're working on a new series. I have seen posts on a new series, and I'm hoping that it's true on Aegon the Conqueror. So I think that, yeah, that'll be so cool to see. And let's see what else. Well, back to the studio for me, working on Halloween stuff for people. Talk to you soon and have a great week. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for stopping in. And yeah, if you can only stay for just a little bit of this, I will have the replay up so you can, you know, so you can watch the whole thing or listen to the whole thing if you're working and all that stuff. So, but yeah, but the one thing that I really enjoy, being the history buff that I am, that I enjoy about like the Game of Thrones universe, the House of the Dragon, all of that. Well, then Game of Thrones has also been said to be based off of the Wars of the Roses and the battle between the Plantagenets and the Lancastrians, which I enjoy that very much because I do enjoy reading about that part of history, and I, you know, so that kind of made me a fan of Game of Thrones. So, but I can definitely see, like, when I watch Game of Thrones, I can definitely see like the similarities between, you know, the events that occurred during the Wars of the Roses, versus versus the events occurring during Game of Thrones. Obviously it's not exactly the same. There are some differences, but yeah, but that's one thing that I really, really enjoy. In fact, there's a couple articles out there on how Edward the Fourth, the reign of Edward the Fourth, inspired Game of Thrones, and just that whole like back and forth between the Lancastrians and the Plantagenets, and so I really enjoyed that. And House of the Dragon, the character Rhaenyra. Now, when I was first watching House of the Dragon, I was starting to go back further into English history when it, prior to the Wars of the Roses, in fact, hundreds of years prior. And I was starting to, I was really getting into the whole, like, just William the Conqueror, and hey, Aegon the Conqueror, William the Conqueror, so, but I was also, but one thing that I, this year was I really started to discover the story of Empress Matilda. Now Empress Matilda, and I have a book, that I just got recently, called, Matilda, Empress, Queen, and Warrior. So, basically, and this has been a very informative book so far, because even for my album, as well as even just my own personal research, I've really been, just even going further back into the English monarch history. And the more I read about Empress Matilda, the more I started to notice similarities between her story and Rhaenyra's story. Now, Rhaenyra in House of the Dragon is the heir to King Viserys the First, just like Matilda was made the heir of Henry the First. And their stories are actually quite similar. So I was just like, I wonder if they based Rhaenyra off of Empress Matilda. Well, lo and behold, I swear, I think the internet does read our minds sometimes, because lo and behold, I came across a few, documentaries and stuff about how, just comparing Matilda and Rhaenyra's story, and also some people online saying, just talking about how Rhaenyra was influenced by Empress Matilda. So, have you seen Horizon with Kevin Costner? People complain. I've not seen that, no, but I should check it out. People complain of not getting to know the characters long enough, and they have to realize it's a 4-part film, so the characters are slowly coming together for the next chapter. Exactly. So, and I think it's just a lot of it is, a lot of people today just have a short attention span, and I think this spans all age groups, where people's, a lot of people's attention spans are, a lot shorter than they were like even 10 years ago. So, but no, I'll have to check that out. I have not seen that, but one thing that, getting back to, Rhaenyra and Empress Matilda, I have seen some confirmations that yes, Rhaenyra was actually inspired by Empress Matilda, because, and King Stephen, is definitely, Aegon the Second. So, I mean, and of course there's some differences, like, Stephen was actually Matilda's cousin, whereas, Aegon the Second, is her half brother, and, Viserys the First, he wasn't, I don't think he was exactly like Henry the First, but there were, a little bit of similarities, but Henry the First made Matilda, his heir, and a lot of people of that time, it's like, some of them couldn't handle having, like, a female heir and having like a female monarch, because this was, this was like the, 1200s, I believe. Empress, Matilda, I'm sorry, her the time, but it was you know, she's a 12th century woman. It's not the 1200s. She's a 12th century woman, which would be the 1100s. So at that time, you know, we did not have our Elizabeth the First yet. So we did not have our Mary the First yet. You know, so people weren't exactly, you know, taking kindly to having a, you know, a female monarch. But I say, hey, you know, if Henry the First was okay with it, if your king was okay with it, then you should be okay with it. But her story is very similar to Rhaenyra's, and she is apparently, in fact, Rhaenyra was inspired by her. So I'm finding, you know, which is making me just really want to learn more about Empress Matilda. In fact, that she was just this amazing woman of the 12th century. So, and another book that I am reading, a couple other books I'm reading as I do more research for my album. Let's see. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, of course, you know, because I think that, yeah, you do need to, you know, build up those character arcs, you know. So, but I'm actually doing, because I do have a song, Daughters of Water, which is about Elizabeth Woodville, her mother, Jaquetta, and her daughter, Elizabeth of York. So this is a historical account of Elizabeth Woodville. And then I am reading the Philippa Gregory, The White Queen. So I am a fan of the TV series, The White Queen. So I decided, hey, I'm going to read the books that, you know, the show's based off of. Because a lot of the time there is also more information in the books that didn't make it to the TV series, just because, you know, I understand budgeting, and, you know, I think they were only given one season to do The White Queen, because I think it was just like a one-off thing. I personally think they should have given it 2 seasons, because I felt that while I did enjoy, I enjoyed it, I thought that it was a little rushed, especially toward the end. Especially when you get into Richard III's reign. I just thought that part, you know, I think it was only like Richard III's reign was, I think, like 2 episodes, if that even. I don't know. I'll have to go back and like watch it. But I thought that, you know, like I said, you know, and I agree. I did see somebody online comment this, saying that it should have been, The White Queen should have been 2 seasons. With having the first season about Edward IV's reign, and then having kind of like with House of the Dragon and King Viserys, where the first season ends with like the death of King Viserys the First, have the White Queen, like maybe have that season 1 end with the death of Edward IV, and then have season 2 go into the aftermath of Edward IV's death and the rise of Richard III, which I agree. I think that would, I don't know. I mean, and I understand, you know, sometimes budgeting, and if they only gave you a budget for 1 season, you just got to work with what you got. But I do think it would have been like, just so like people would have really, like, I would have liked to have kind of like gotten to know, Richard III a little bit better in the Philippa Gregory world. I mean, when I'm reading the books, I will, but there's so many other details in the books that I think would have really been really cool to see on screen. I would have liked to have maybe seen how the relationship and marriage between Richard III and Anne Neville, how it kind of slowly started to take a nosedive. And yes, I know that is a work of fiction, because that's another thing. If you're discussing a work of historical fiction, sometimes you'll have people come in and be like, well, that wasn't true, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, I know that that's not true. But when we're talking about this universe, this is what I would have liked to have seen. You know, I would have liked to have seen kind of like, you know, how exactly the decline of their marriage went, and then, you know, when he took an interest in like Elizabeth of York and all that stuff, maybe seen that build up a little bit more, kind of like how it does in the books. And you know, and like I said, I think, you know, because that part, like I said, it was supposed to take place across, you know, a pretty lengthy period of time, but even though the reign of Richard III wasn't that long, it, like I said, that part of it just felt very rushed, and it's still very good, still very enjoyable, and I do enjoy the performances. You know, I definitely really like you know, Richard III in this particular series. But like I said, I would have liked to have seen more. I would have liked to have seen more of, you know, because it, you know, like I said, the, you know, the relationship between him and Anne Neville, and how it was, you know, it started off really good, and then, you know, it kind of started, I mean, and they do show a little bit of that. They do show how it's like it kind of takes a little bit of like a decline. But there's just so much more to both of their stories, both in real life and in fiction, that, you know, like I said, I just would have liked to have seen a little bit more of. So yeah, I do agree. I think it should have been two seasons instead of one. But, you know, like I said, but it was still good. I still very much like that series. And I enjoyed reading these. The White Queen series. But yeah, but I'm also, like I said, an actual historical account, which is also for my own enjoyment, and also my writing of my new album. And I recently became a member of the Richard III Society, which is really cool. And they provide you with a lot of really, really cool, really good resources, both online as well as physical copies. And yeah, so just things like this I got like with my welcome packet. So that's also like where I've been doing a lot of my research. And this is actually quite a good book too, on kind of solving the different mysteries on Richard III. I just got done reading this about like a month ago, and it's by Josephine Tey. It's The Daughter of Time. And it was actually written in, I think, the early 1950s. So, and it's about it's like a detective story, but it's also kind of like a historical fiction story. So it's about basically this detective who is injured and in the hospital, and to pass time, he wants to solve basically a historical mystery, and he comes across like Richard III and the princes in the tower. And he, sets out to solve that mystery. That's cool. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, thanks for joining. Hey, so, but this is a really cool book, because I think it's also good for somebody who doesn't want to read like, like if you don't want to read like a lengthy history book, this is really cool, because like I said, because you also get to see London in the 1950s through this book, which I think is really cool, on top of the fact that they also include actual historical research on Richard III in like within the fiction too. So yeah, so I do, like I said, and as you can see, it's not like, this long read. So I mean, I think even somebody who maybe isn't, they're not into reading lengthy books, this might be like a good one for you and everything. So yeah, so that's some of my recommendations. And I'm also, I do have to jump off. Video flipped. Oh, so so this title, okay, yeah, because if you just joined it, it's The Daughter of Time by Josephine Tey. So yeah, sorry, I know sometimes like the videos can, like you're reading things backwards. So but yeah, The Daughter of Time by Josephine Tey, if you wanted to check that out. So yeah, cool. So, and And I'm also, I do have to jump off of here in a little bit, but I do have the Gothic Celt shop up where I'm going to be putting more items in there. I have some of my digital and physical music. It will digital music, but I'm going to be putting like physical books in there too, and I am working on getting physical copies of my music done because people have been asking for it. So but yeah, I'm getting some of that reprinted, but my Gothic Celt shop is also open. I only started out, like I said, with digital copies of. All right. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, good. I'm glad you got it that time. So yeah, but I do recommend checking out that book. So, all right, fabulous. But yeah, like I said, I do have to jump off. Just so, because I do need to get some things done, and like I said, and then the new title of House of the Dragon. I'll be checking out your shop. Yeah, thank you. It's the gothickeltshop.com, and then my new website is the gothicelt.com. So yeah, but thank you for to those of you that joined me today, whether you joined me. Oh, thank you so much. Have a great night yourself. Thank you. Thank you so much to those that joined me, whether you were able to join me for a little bit or for the whole thing. If you're only able to join me for a little bit, I will have the replay. Thank you for the hearts too. Thank you. Love you guys. Yes, love you. But I will be having the replay up so you can, check it out and yeah, and listen, and I hope to be doing more of these live streams, and especially bringing back my tavern live streams as well. Good to see you, Tiffany. Very glad you're on the mend. Thank you. And I really hope that, like I said, you find some relief too, for that lower back. That sounds so painful. I definitely, like I said, I hope to get my tavern live stream back up and going. It's just, like I said, it's been quite a year, especially, having to readjust things with my ankle injury and everything. But yeah, but thank you so much again for joining me, and I hope to do one of these again. And like I said, bring back my tavern live stream, as well as my tea history and fairy tales live stream, where I actually perform some music on there. So all right, guys, mwah, love you, and thanks so much for joining me. All right, take care, and I'll see you next time.